They called her a temptress. Rome called her a threat. But history remembers her as something far greater, the last Pharaoh of Egypt, the woman who stood alone against an empire that ruled the world. This is not a story about beauty. It's about power strategy and a dream that refused to die. This is the story of Cleopatra, the queen who defied Rome. When Alexander the Great conquered Egypt, he left behind a city, Alexandria, destined to become the heart of learning and culture 3 centuries. Later, that same city would give rise to a queen who inherited both a kingdom and a crisis. Cleopatra VII was just 18 when she ascended the throne, facing famine, debt, and betrayal. But she possessed something her rivals did not: an intellect sharp enough to outmaneuver Rome itself. Her first challenge came not from enemies abroad, but from her own brother. Ptolemy XIII's civil war erupted, and Egypt trembled on the edge of collapse. To survive, Cleopatra made a choice that would change history. She sought an ally powerful enough to save her throne. Julius Caesar legend says she was smuggled into his palace, rolled inside a carpet. Reality says she knew how to turn every situation into an opportunity. Within months, she had regained her crown and captured the attention of Rome's greatest general. Caesar saw more than a queen. He saw a leader who understood the game of empires. Together they restored order in Egypt, crushed her brother's forces, and secured the Nile's wealth for Rome. But Cleopatra had her own vision, an Egypt that would stand beside Rome, not beneath it. Their alliance gave her a son, Caesarian heir to both worlds. And when Caesar was assassinated, Cleopatra lost not just a lover, but the balance of power that kept her kingdom alive in the chaos that followed. 2 men rose to claim Rome: Mark Antony and Octavian. Cleopatra chose Antony, the soldier poet, the man who dreamed as she did. Together they built a vision of an Eastern empire that could rival Rome's might. For a time they ruled the seas, the trade routes, and the imagination of the world. But ambition has a price. Octavian declared war, branding Cleopatra as the foreign witch who had bewitched a Roman. The fate of Egypt was decided at the Battle of Actium, a storm of fire and wind that ended with Antony's defeat and Rome's triumph. Cornered in her palace, Cleopatra faced the one thing she could never negotiate: submission. She chose death over chains, legend over humiliation. As Octavian's legions entered Alexandria, the queen of Egypt vanished from life, but entered eternity. Her death marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty and the birth of Roman Egypt. But her story, her courage, her intellect, her defiance became immortal. Cleopatra was not just the woman who seduced Rome's rulers. She was the last flame of an ancient world, a leader who refused to surrender her identity to empire. Her enemies wrote her downfall, but time revealed her genius, because true power